We want to bring in now Dr. Shon Neyland, the pastor of Highland Christian Center in Northeast Portland, also the author of the book, The Courage to Stand, A New America. Pastor, thank you so much for joining us. You are always so heartfelt and well-spoken and measured when we talk with you. And so we wanted to bring you in today, really, to start, give us your reaction on the verdict from today's trial.
Well, thank you. As you can see by the smile on my face, I'm elated that this has happened. It is justice being served. And I talked about it a couple of weeks ago when talking to Tim, and I expressed that this is needed for healing in America. To make real change possible, we need to see that justice will be served and everyone will be treated fairly under the law.
And of course, now, Shon, we saw so many people out there today, tears, emotions. It's been a year of anxiety and so much longer than that, building up to this moment and the need for change. That's what we're talking about here. So do you think that this will lead to real, actual change in policing?
Without a doubt, I certainly believe change will happen. I've been advocating for police reform ever since we started this journey a year ago, I believe May 25th, if you will. And that police reform must happen through real legislation. And I'm calling on our city officials, the state officials, the governor, and the nation, if you will, to really use and leverage this moment and say, okay, America is ready to do something different. We can't just have this incident, have a guilty verdict, and go back to the same policing tactics. There needs to be real change where there's sensitivity training, where we're all seen as humans, and the alert level is no different than any stop. And I think personally, that's what gets us in this cycle, is that some are seen differently based on the melanin in our DNA and our ethnicities. And that's what causes this vicious cycle of police brutality. And so if we can get people to understand we're all human, to put in the real reforms of police cameras, to put in sensitivity training, to make sure there's no indemnification laws that protect police for heinous crimes such as this, I believe those will be key steps to a greater future.
And Dr. Neyland, let's move beyond policing and just look at society as a whole here, because your book takes into account racial and social dynamics as well. When it comes to that and just current society, what has to happen for meaningful reform there?
Definitely. I believe the same factors must happen, in that we must begin to see each other beyond, and I hate to say it, the tried and true color terminology, white versus black. And you guys know this. You're here with me here in Portland. You see it every day. And if we can stop those kinds of rhetoric and see each other as human beings, as friends, as co-workers, I believe it's a shift in the attitude of humanness. And I was in my book, I advocate that there's one race, and that's the human race. Anthropologists have confirmed that we are not multi-races, such as a white race, a yellow race, a brown race, a black race. We all are human. And when we move beyond color labels and labels on people, Republican, Democrat, black, white, let's just become Americans. And that's what I push for. And so, yes, it's a sensitivity training for all of us. It's a shift that we need now in America. And I believe this is the time to galvanize together and make change real for all people.
This certainly is a moment in history that we're living through right now. And part of that history is our kids and having this conversation. What advice do you have for parents out there when talking about this verdict and talking about ways to move forward?
Yes, I would say take a moment tonight, sit around the dinner table and actually discuss it. Don't just blow over it, another verdict, but actually talk about the significance of why this was important for our nation, that we all will be seen as equal. We all would be able to receive fair justice under the law, and that we can now see that it is not based on color codes that people should be judged, but we should be judged by our character, by the content of our character and what we do. And in this case, Mr. Chauvin, a former police officer, took egregious measures that were beyond the approved police tactics, and he literally was found guilty of murder. And that shows that despite all of the rhetoric of the past, that if you are of African descent, you will not get justice. That shows that today in America, it's a new day and we can get justice. And I would like to add that we should pray for healing of our nation right now, because I saw posts earlier today on Twitter and so forth. People are still calling for violence and uprisings, no matter what the verdict was. And I believe those kinds of things continue to divide us and separate us. And we should come together and rejoice and unify as a result of this. But last thing I'll say is our children are our future. I know that's a
Mhm.
cliche, but it's true. If we can get our children to see that there is a better world, America is better than this, and that a divided America cannot stand. And it's time to stop being divided and to come together. But it's going to be our children, the future of America.
The perfect sentiment to end there. Thank you so much, Dr. Shon Neyland, the pastor of Highland Christian Center in Northeast Portland. It is always a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you for your words today. We appreciate it.
Thank you both, and God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you. Have a great day.